In order to test whether Roswida had really fallen asleep, Leon slightly bent down and quietly approached Roswida's ear. He whispered to her, "Hey, Roswida, wake up. There's an urgent matter at the moment." After a while, Roswida still fell asleep with her eyes closed, without any reaction. She didn't seem to hear Leon talking to her. Seeing that Roswida didn't show any signs of wanting to wake up, Leon nodded gently. "Very good. Pregnant woman has good sleep quality. In that case, I don't have to worry about waking her up." Leon quietly crouched beside Roswida's bed and took out his portable recording stone from his pocket. He gently pressed the button on the portable recording stone and placed it next to Roswida's belly. At this point, the portable recording stone starts playing audio. Long, long ago, on the distant western continent, a wise and brave race was born. They call themselves humans. Originally, in order to allow the child in Roswida's belly to absorb more about human culture, Leon recorded audio about human stories and history in his room in advance, using a portable recording stone. Due to its portability and the ability to adjust the volume, he didn't have to worry about Roswida noticing it while sleeping. He decided to subtly influence the unborn child in this way. Listening to the audio playing on the portable recording stone, Leon whispered to Roswida's belly, "Baby, humans are the world's first race. You should look more like a human in the future." Time began to pass minute by minute. A few hours later, the moon above the Silver Dragon Castle had quietly set, and the sun had slowly risen into the sky. The dark clouds in the sky have gradually dissipated, revealing a bright sky blue color. The sunlight quietly shone into Roswida's room, gradually brightening the entire room. The portable recording stone is still playing audio. Human beings are a great race, a brave race. They are resilient, they never give up, and they will always fight for a better tomorrow. In no time, the portable recording stone had already finished playing Leon's pre-recorded audio. Except for occasionally flipping over or whispering in her sleep, Roswida showed no signs of waking up throughout the night, and she did not hear the sound of the portable recording stone. She is still sleeping very heavily. Leon felt very satisfied seeing Roswida sleeping very quietly. He didn't expect the implementation of this plan to go so smoothly. He gently took away the portable recording stone and silently said in his heart, The recording quality of this recording stone is really good. I can record more books for the baby to listen to in the future." However, Leon has no intention of leaving Roswida's room right now. After putting the shadow stone in his pocket, he placed one hand on his chest and waved the other hand, making a very exaggerated speech gesture. He closed his eyes and stood by Roswida's bedside, passionately reciting poetry. "Next, Dad will compose a poem for you. The name of this poem is The Greatness of Humanity, Beyond Words." Although Roswida didn't react at all, the child in her belly seemed unable to tolerate Leon continuing to do so. "Ah, humanity, you are so magnificent. The dazzling sun rises in the east, its light awakening those resolute and courageous souls. Every wicked dragon king shall be vanquished by humankind. Ah, the greatness of humanity needs no words." During Leon's passionate recitation of poetry, the sunlight gradually shone on the Silver Dragon Castle, as if it had been draped in a golden coat and awakened from the darkness. In the sky, the color of the morning glow slowly soaked the blue sky, as if someone had melted the spilled rouge into the clear lake water. Not far away, the early bird chirped clearly, reminding the people in the castle that it was time to get up. Roswida had already gotten up early. As usual, she changed out of her pajamas and put on the clothes she usually wears, and walked into the restaurant to have breakfast. However, her complexion didn't look very good, as if she hadn't slept well last night. She poked the salad on the plate with a fork while gently rubbing her head with her hand. Last night, Last night? What happened last night? Upon hearing Roswida's words, Leon began to feel nervous. He gently shook the knife and fork in his hand, and looked aside to conceal his nervousness. He silently said in his heart, "This morning, I climbed back over the balcony to my room before Roswida woke up. I shouldn't have been noticed by her, right?" He was worried that Roswida might have noticed that he had already arrived in her room last night. Roswida told Leon about a nightmare she had last night. "I have a nightmare. I dreamed that I had become a human, even praising the greatness of humanity. It's too terrifying." She put down the fork in her hand and covered her mouth with her hands. She felt so disgusted by this dream that she wanted to spit out the food in her stomach. Upon hearing what Roswida said, Leon felt somewhat speechless. He didn't expect the plan he implemented last night to have such an effect on Roswida. Roswida crossed her hands and placed them on her chest, making a gesture of prayer. She closed her eyes and devoutly prayed to God. "Dragon God, please bless me." Looking at the serious prayer of Roswida, Leon silently said in his heart, "I don't know if prenatal education is effective for the child, but it is quite effective for you. In that case, I'll keep up the good work and strive to influence them as soon as possible." Leon secretly tapped his palm with his fist and secretly made up his mind. He was pleased with Roswida's reaction. Since Roswida's reaction was like this, it means that his plan from last night was effective. As long as he continues to implement the plan, he believes that in the future, the child in Roswida's belly will be influenced by human culture and grow up to be more like him. At this moment, Roswida remembered that Leon was going to continue teaching Muin some related magical skills today. She picked up her fork and shook it, then asked him, "What are you planning to teach Muin today?" Leon felt a bit embarrassed about this issue. He answered softly to Roswida, "Basic fire magic." Roswida did not get angry with him as Leon had imagined. On the contrary, when she heard that he planned to teach Muin fire magic, she felt very satisfied. She nodded lightly and said to him, "Well, you teach her how to control the morphological changes of the fire element. As for Dragon Flame, I will be responsible for teaching her in a few days." Seeing that Roswida didn't feel angry about his decision, Leon breathed a light sigh of relief. He stood up from his seat and waved goodbye to her. "I know. I'll go find her first. You can eat slowly." Roswida nodded lightly, tacitly allowing him to leave the restaurant first. Looking at the salad on the plate, Roswida still had no appetite. After getting pregnant, she always doesn't want to eat anything. After staring at the salad for a while, She let out a soft sigh. She said to a maid beside her, I don't want to eat anymore. You can take it away." The maid politely bowed to Roswida and replied, "Yes, Your Majesty." As the maid began silently tidying up the plates and utensils on the dining table, Roswida lowered her head slightly and looked at her belly. She gently caressed her belly and said to the child inside, Baby, Mom has to go through a lot of hardships for you. So, let's transfer some of this hardship to Dad. I believe he won't mind." At this moment, Leon is teaching Muin basic fire magic on the large lawn downstairs. Muin listened very attentively to Leon's knowledge of fire magic. Then, she reached out her hand and began to cast fire magic. In no time, a small flame emerged from her hand. Seeing Muin successfully cast the fire magic, Leon smiled happily.